Hey you.
Me?
Yes, you.
What up?
Are you ready to take your brand to the next level?
Hell yeah!
GLM Designs can help you with just that.
Word?
From laptop skins,
You lying?
promotional flyers,
Yo, son!
promo videos,
I need that!
OBS Twitch overlays and backgrounds,
Hey, yo, let me get that!
professional one-sheets, and so much more.
Oh my god.
Please visit our website,
I'm on it right now!
GottaLoveMeWorld.com today to check out our designs.
Got it!
Follow us on social media at Gotta Love Me World.
Follow it!
GLM Designs are here to take care of all your graphic needs. Brace yourself, sports and music fans, because every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Arizona time is GO time. Introducing one of the hottest, most entertaining, and downright addictive podcasts you'll ever need. PD&J Was Good Today. Hosted by none other than J-Dub the King and Pocket. These two dynamic personalities will keep you on the edge of your seat with their unique blend of humor, storytelling, and knowledge of sports and entertainment. And you know what makes it even better? They're live on YouTube and Facebook, so you can join the conversation and be a part of the action. We're always on the lookout for awesome guests to join us on the show. So if you think you've got what it takes to hang out with J-Dub the King and Pocket, then slide into our inbox at J-Dub the King. That's JDUBBTHAKING. And let's make some magic together. So what are you waiting for? You don't want to miss a single episode. See you on Wednesday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We did that. Welcome to a brand new week. It's a brand new episode. It's a brand new Wednesday, so you already know what that means. Brand new episode of PD&J What's Good Today. I'm your host, Jay.
I'm your host, Pocket. What is good, folks? As you can see, we got a little something different going on here today. Shout out to GLM. Oh, man, they did the dang thing. That's not why we were off last week. Some things happened. But we're here right now.
So let's just jump right into it. We're going to do a little bit different layout this week because we have something very interesting that we want to talk about. So we want to make sure that we delegate enough time for that. So we're going to jump into sports, and then we're going to go into our topics. Pocket, what you got for sports?
Well, as you know, the NBA playoffs are going on.
Going tough.
This is the most unpredictable playoffs.
Going tough.
The favorites are not favoring.
No. Milwaukee's out.
Boston's losing.
Miami about to knock out the Knicks.
Golden State's down.
Phoenix is down.
Well, I guess not all the favorites are losing.
Ah, shut
But yeah, you know what? But that's what we like about NBA. It can be totally unpredictable. Not as unpredictable as the NFL.
So who now do you think is the favorite coming out the East? You think Boston's the favorite, or you think Philly's going to be the favorite?
I think it's Philly right now because Philly against Miami doesn't match up well for Miami.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't think. I mean, I try to think about it. Well, you think about it. Let's see. Embiid has a sprained knee. He's doing as best as he can. So again, Adebayo has a good idea to guard him, but then you're going to put Jimmy Butler on
James
Harden. But then now you have to worry about Maxey and the other supporting cast.
Yeah.
And then with Miami, with what's the name out for the year?
But Miami still has a bench, though. They still can compete and they still can run.
Right, but can they score enough in that series against Philadelphia? Philadelphia, they go as deep. I mean, they got PJ Tucker. I mean, yeah, he's getting minutes now, but he wasn't getting minutes the whole playoffs. So
yeah,
you got to guard Philadelphia. I mean, they got some shooters. So we'll see. We'll see. In the West, wow. I don't know how the number one seed is not getting all the play. Like, seriously. They're picking the Lakers as the second best to win it. I don't even agree with that. And I'm a Lakers fan. I mean, seriously, dude. Like, how do y'all do that? Like, who are these? Like, let the Lakers keep being the underdog. Let the Lakers keep being the underdog. LeBron's already snapped for 22, so obviously he's underwhelming. But when you think about it, does he really score more than that right now? Probably not. He's conserving his energy to when he's needed, which is dangerous.
So who do you have coming out there? If you don't see the Lakers coming out the West,
No. I didn't say I didn't see the Lakers. I said, why are the favorites not getting into play? I still think the Lakers could do it. I mean, when I look at them from 1 to 12, any given day, any of those role players are stepping up. Each game is a different one, and that's dangerous. If you think about it.
So you think Golden State's going down today?
I think they'll put up. You know what? I see this game.
So.
Every game is closer and closer. I think this will be the game that goes overtime.
Okay.
If you think about it, every game, like they had 2 blowouts, right, back to back, right. But game 2 was a blowout. The Lakers lost. Game 3, the blowout. Golden State lost. Game 4 was close. It was a 4-point game. So that means we're getting closer and closer to getting that.
I think Golden State's going to get the win tonight. I think if they do go down, it's going to be a 7-game series, and they're going to go down swinging.
It ain't going to be a 7-game series. They're not going to win in LA. They're not going to do it. If they can, my problem with Golden State is, yeah, they're the number 1 3-point shooting team, but they don't do enough to get to the line. That's a problem.
Yeah,
that's their problem. They need to stop shooting so many threes. I mean, yeah, you're the best in the game at doing it, but when you're playing against a team that has the most free throws, that negates itself. Because guess what? Now the game's slowed down. It's at a pace that you can't compete. So change the way you play, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Well, all I know is that these playoffs has been pretty unpredictable and
on the side of your seat every game.
And it's good. Right now, you got the Knicks playing the Miami Heat, and we'll keep you updated on that as it goes. For obvious reasons, we can't commentate the game, but we'll let you
we
know.
can commentate. We just can't show you. We can talk about the game. We just can't show you. But that's not what our show is. Our show is
was good today. So, what else is good?
Well, in case y'all didn't know, my boxing fans, this week,
I thought we wasn't going to bring this up.
Rolly Romero is fighting for the
I thought we wasn't going to bring this
junior
up.
welterweight title. I have to bring it up, dude. I am a boxing fan. Rolly. Now, my problem is with this is when he wins this belt, we're never going to hear the end of it. He's been calling for a rematch with Tanner for how long now? Since he lost, right?
Yeah.
But my thing, here's my setup is, if he wins this match, you know what the ultimate match will be? And this has been played on different social media outlets. Him against Ryan Garcia. That'll be a hell of a matchup. Because Ryan Garcia whooped him in sparring.
Ryan Garcia against Rolly?
Yeah. That'll be a hell of a matchup. They're both pretty tall, pretty lanky. And from what I understand, the rumor is that Ryan Garcia is definitely going to leave Oscar De La Hoya. And in case y'all didn't know, we didn't talk too much about it, but after he lost that match, they left him up there with just his father. His trainer wasn't there, which he left his trainer after that, I think a few days later. And Oscar wasn't there, nor was Bernard Hopkins. They're blaming it on threats. Right. The only threat you had is the fact you were talking so much trash and he lost to a body shot, which ironically, De La Hoya, you lost to a body shot from Bernard Hopkins. Same type, but you were rolling around the ground like you got shot. So, can't support the dude? And then you got him back to, oh yeah, he's going to come back greater. He's going to be greater than Canelo. Well, you know what? He never said anything to you. He didn't talk to you. You haven't even talked to him. So, we'll see. If he goes to PBC and he goes in Errol Spence camp, that's a rumor. He's going with Derrick James. Do I think he's going to make a difference? Yes. Can they correct what he's been doing so wrong? If he's committed, which I think he is now, because he saw the flaws. His flaws were very well exposed. We'll see. We'll see. But that's all we have for sports that I want to talk about anyway.
Okay. All right.
Other than Lamar Jackson getting his number 1 highest paid player in football.
Go ahead and get it out. Get it out.
I just got it out.
We got time. We got time.
I mean, he highest paid player in football. After he proved us wrong, did he not? Actually, no, he didn't. Because remember I said 190 million?
You said 185.
Oh, I said 185. All right, that's right. You're right. I said 185. I was $2 million off. Guaranteed. I was $2 million off.
Still was wrong.
I was closer than you.
I don't. Here's my issue with it. You're giving him this guaranteed money, and he's going to guarantee to get injured.
Is it?
Because
Because the whole thing is when he came out his press conference, the number one thing I like, he said, the weapons we have, I could throw. I'm going to try and throw for 6,000 yards. Whatever, he never had enough weapons before. The weapons he has now, 6,000, no, 5,000 is a possibility. The guy's got arm talent, and now we're going to see. Remember how when he was in Louisville,
we'll see.
He threw for like 4,800 and ran for another 12 or 1,300, which I don't think he do. Well, I say we don't think he can do that, but he's a video game player. We watch him on the field. He's the most dynamic player in football. So we'll see what happens this year. But shout out to you, Lamar, for getting your money, man. People said you couldn't do it without an agent. Yes, they were wrong. And we were wrong on top of it. We said you couldn't do it. And we did. Remember when we had Chris on the show? We said he should have got an agent. Guess what? He did it without an agent. And apparently his mother didn't negotiate it. He negotiated it. That's another key factor. So he negotiated his own contract and the terms. So shout out to him. Black man doing white man things.
Anywho, I think that's it for sports right now. Anything else on sports?
No, I think we covered everything we want to do in sports for this week, because next week I think we got a hell of a show as far as sports and everything else. But we'll have some updates because there's another fight out there, but I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that until after we see the contract signed. But entertainment. So everybody knows the Fugees. And in case you don't, Killing Me Softly, Fuji La La La. And of course, we can't play the music. If we do, we'll get copyrighted like a mother. But anyway.
You guys know the member, one of the members of the group of the Fugees by the name of Praz, right? Right, I'm sure. Well, this man is locked up for the next 10 years.
Till he gets his appeal.
You think he's going
to get an appeal? It'll be quiet. We won't hear about it.
But anyway, he got caught for basically laundering money for political gain.
Well, no, that's not really what they said. You were an informant without papers. That's what they said.
Basically an informant without papers, but he was also working almost espionage-ish.
And they set him up. I mean, they set him up. It's amazing what can happen when you don't do what the powers that be want you to do. And that's what I think that happened in this case.
For those that don't know, please explain what we're talking about.
So apparently he was an informant for the FBI. FBI for years.
Not on paper, though.
Well, they say not on paper, but I have a reason to believe it was on paper. It's just a matter of the paper being lost. And whoever he was informing for was using it for their own gain. So that's why it's not official. So I'm quite sure they have the paperwork. The reason why I say it's not on paper, because I'm betting the person that had him doing this, something happened along those lines. We'll never hear about it because that's the way the government works. So here's what I want people to think about. When you see a police officer, what does the side of the car says?
Well, it depends on what side of it.
No, it doesn't matter. Both sides say the same thing.
Not all.
Yeah, both sides say the same thing. To protect and serve. And then also, now what we're starting to see more of is public servant service. So doesn't that mean, as being private citizens, they should know everything we're doing? Government is supposed to be working for who? Not themselves. Who are they supposed to work for? I'll wait. We're supposed to have our own privacy. We're supposed to be knowing everything the public servant is doing for us. Now, I just used the police for an example, but every politician is voted for by whom. We're supposed to have access to everything that they are doing and everything that's going on. We don't have access to that until election time because nobody's pushed that envelope. The government works for who? The right answer, right, is themselves. The correct answer is for us. Okay, where am I going with that? Where am I going with that? Praz got caught into a situation where he was probably caught up with weed or something like that, and they gave him a deal, couldn't be refused, no jail time. And now look, this man is now going to be serving.
Last time I don't think he got sentenced yet. They found him guilty, but he could be looking up to what, 20 years?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's money laundering involved in the same aspect, to where he was getting money from another country, basically, and was told to get close to the politicians and presidents and take pictures with them and this, that, and everything else and go back. So in essence, you could say he was almost like a double agent.
Here's what just clicked in my head. Remember years ago, what's his other, oh my gosh, the other Fuji person that was running for office in the islands.
Wyclef?
Yeah, Wyclef was running for office. He was definitely laundering money to the point he was taking money from the campaign to put to a new album and buying. And all of a sudden, of course, he didn't win, and he's been on the run ever since.
He's been putting out music.
Yeah, he's been putting out music. Thank goodness for that money that he took. Reminds me of your boy, Lamar Whitehead, but we're not going to go there. Or where are we? No, I'm not going to talk about it. But same thing, laundering money, getting caught. So they use Praz, and you never know. It might have been they were using Praz to get the Wyclef, and it didn't work that way. Well, all we know is now Praz is such in a situation where he is going to serve some time. I don't think he's going to serve 20 years. Because I'm quite sure he's got dirt on people.
Just want to make sure my facts are right.
But either way, he's going to serve some time.
22 years. That's what he's facing.
Facing 22 years.
Facing 22 years.
I don't see him for serving 22.
I see him doing 10. He's going to do a double-digit number.
I don't think he's going to do a double-digit because what's going to happen is something's going to happen where we're not going to hear about it for that.
I think he's going to end up doing they're going to sentence him to 10, but he's only going to do about 7 to 8.
But you just said he's going to do double-digit.
I said he's going to get sentenced to a double-digit number, but you know as well as I do, you get sentenced to 10 years, you're not going to do the full 10.
Depending on what state you're in. Depending on what state you're in.
Well, I think this is coming out of New York, so at the end of the day, he can get paroled after a certain number of years.
Yeah. If it's New York, it is New York.
So,
but looking at it, what it is, folks, man. If anybody offers you any contract that's too good to be true, what do we always say?
Look it over with a fine-tooth comb. Not saying that it can't be true, but make sure that all your ducks are in a row.
Like if somebody says they're a Nigerian prince and they got $15 million for you sitting in the middle of a thing, all you got to do is put your bank account information.
I'm going to take it and I'll play.
Remember how many people have been screwed over that with them? Oh, my God. Yeah, be careful, folks. But it also goes back to, and I guess, how do we tie that into what we're talking about, the government? It's because the government is supposed to serve us, do what's best for us. That's how Praz got screwed. He thought that they had his best interest at heart when they had their own agenda, whatever it may be. Again, like I said, we will never know the whole story of this until he gets cleared and he's able to speak of it, which I'm quite sure he will. He may even write a book. And I'm quite sure if he gets sentenced, he's going to write a book. But you need to be careful. Just like you need to be careful what healthcare you sign up for. What do I mean by that? Well, sometimes when you sign up for things, you sign up for it and you just go for whatever. Oh, this is for me and my family. I need to get it. Family care. Okay, great. Bam, you sign the dotted line. They don't tell you after what your co-pays are, or they give you an idea of what the co-pay may be, but it's never what they give you. It's an estimate. Everything's an estimate. Have you realized that? Everything's an estimate until you go to the grocery store. They don't estimate your bill.
It's kind of funny that you bring up the healthcare, because this is going into the topic where this probably is going to take majority of the show, folks. So get comfortable, get your popcorn ready. As a matter of fact, we might just have to take a break before we even get into this, because once we go in, I think we're going to be in on this one for a while. Because
you know,
let's think about it.
Let's go to a commercial break. I see the likes. I don't want to hear about that. Tell us some likes or something like that. No, we're not doing that. We provide y'all with great information, and we don't get our just due.
You know what? It's funny that you say that. I went grocery shopping the other day, and somebody recognized me from my podcast.
Yeah, that's what's happening out here. Actually, I told you I was in the mall. And
yeah,
kind of threw me off guard. But
yeah. So what we're going to talk about, and it's going to tie into everything. You know, does the type of healthcare that you get determine what type of coverage do you get? The political climate and how all of that ties into one another. So, folks, stay tuned. We'll definitely be right back.
Are you a business owner or someone looking for more ways and avenues to advertise and promote? Look no further. Contact us today for an advertisement. Email PD&J Media Productions LLC at gmail.com for more info. Promotions are everything. What are you waiting for?
Folks, we are back. So let's just jump right into it. Does healthcare, or the type of healthcare coverage that you receive, determine the type of healthcare services that you receive? That's a hard yes. Nobody can.
Can you say that again?
Does the type of healthcare coverage that you have determine the type of healthcare services that you receive?
I don't think they heard you in the back. That's why I said say it again.
And that's going to be a hard yes. Just because, for the simple fact that, and you alluded to it a little bit, nobody really knows what your co-pays are, or how much a medical bill is, or how much a service is until you actually get that bill in the mail, right?
Everything's an estimate.
Why is that? Well, I was looking into it. Don't you know, I think it was, and I may be a little bit skewed on these numbers, 78% of healthcare services that are provided is determined by the demographical or the geological area that you live in, your demographics, and your credit. Since when does credit come into a factor of determining what type of healthcare you might be qualified for?
When does that change?
21.
I've never, ever seen that as a factor.
It happens. I mean, nowadays they even do soft credit checks on employment statuses, determine on the type of job that you get. Certain jobs do run a credit check.
Since when?
Since a long ass time. I know I applied for Discover Card, for an example, and I had to consent to a consumer credit report. Sure did.
I'd like to see your things on that, because I know for a fact you know where I work.
I know.
And no, they don't.
Yeah.
Because it's called credit discrimination. They can't bill it. And I can pull that. Matter of fact, if you want, I can pull the FCRA laws.
Those that
right
are
now.
tuning in, that's actually had that done to them, because I know for a fact some of at least two of our viewers has had that done to them as well. But yeah,
I would gladly pull the FCRA laws. If it's happening, then you've got a case in your hand. Then take it to a lawyer, because I can guarantee they're not allowed to do that. It's called credit discrimination.
They've done.
They're not supposed to base it off credit. They're supposed to base it off of pretty much
I get what you're saying, but
No, it's not about what I'm saying. It's what I actually know from this.
And I get that, but there's certain companies that are not doing that.
Okay, here's what I want. Anybody that can actually prove that, send me the name of the company and the time it happened.
See?
So so if you want to say that again, like I said, go look the FCRA Credit Act of I think 1992 or something. It tells you they're not allowed to do that if they're doing it. If they are doing it, then they are actually liable.
But you said just like you know it just as I know. For every rule, there's a loophole to a rule.
There's not a loophole for credit. If they're pulling your credit, there's not a loophole for it.
Well,
if they're basically telling you they're doing a soft credit pull, and they have to provide you with the information they got from that
correct,
pull.
they do.
So if they're doing that, then they already are against the law.
Well, that will be another topic that we can discuss.
Not another topic because we're supposed to be talking about the whole thing with healthcare.
Yeah.
Now you pulled in credit.
And there's another one. So
I've worked for Macy's. I know for a fact, yeah, they took my social, but only because they're going to give you a credit card with the company. Well, that's why they're checking your credit. They won't. That doesn't determine if you get hired. They're checking your credit to see if you can get a credit card.
But this does show that this does happen. Also, hold on one second. Another comment. Also, it takes your
because it's not a soft. There's no such thing as a soft credit pull. There is no such thing as a soft credit pull. If anybody ever
says that it's a soft credit pull, down there,
it's not true.
It's not true.
It's always going to.
But going back to what we were talking about with healthcare and everything like that, I started noticing that there's a lot of different factors that determine what type of healthcare services that you get based off the coverage that you receive, and also determines your medical bill, the billing.
Yep.
Which blows my mind. Also, what I found out makes me want to run for office as a politician myself. Why? Because if I go into Congress for 8 years, 2 sessions, I'll walk away with free healthcare.
One session, you get free healthcare.
Free healthcare for the rest of my life. And it's the citizens, just like you said. Yeah. Just like you said, who are they a service to? We're the ones that's footing that bill. So let me know, how is our westernized medical services one of the best that's in the country? How is that possible? Now, are there pros to this? Absolutely. I mean, I've seen somebody, I'm not going to mention any names, with a humongous medical bill, but had to pay less than 1% on that. You know what I mean? So I do see its pros and cons and everything like that. But
the pros are so minute
compared to the cons. Then that's where I was going with that. Yeah. So it's, how do we change that? Can we change that?
Well, here's what I want people to understand. So when you go to a hospital, right, they take your information, they take what I mean by that, they take your medical stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And depending on what kind of coverage you have, that determines what they're going to bill you. And you can't tell me anything different.
I actually can agree with that.
You can't tell me anything different. And here's what I said. Take 2 people, for instance. And I'm going to say this, throw this in there as a loophole, same color skin.
Okay.
Same 2 people. One has Medicare, is it? Or Medicaid? And the other one and they have Medicare because they're on disability or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. The other person now has a hard-paying job paying out of with their insurance. They both have insurance. Mm-hmm. The person on Medicare, I want to say it's Medicare. Maybe is it Medicaid?
You got Medicare and you have Medicaid. So basically, how your Medicaid is your state provided. Medicare is federal when you get to a certain age or if you have a disability.
Right. Now, I'm using one Medicare because I know some people have Medicaid have Medicare. And
you can have both.
You can have both.
Yeah,
just the way you don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, right. Just depending on your situation.
We're just using the Medicare, the federal one right now.
Okay.
They go up. They're gonna have 2 totally different copays. What do I mean by that? The one that is actually has to work for a living is going to have a higher copay. The one with Medicare may not get covered. You thought I was going to say something else. May not get covered, depending on what you need and how long you need it for.
I've seen people that's had Medicare that's had way a higher deductible than some people that's the average worker, if that makes sense. So I say the average worker, meaning that, okay, you got a full-time job, you pay for your health benefits, you have your deductibles, you have your co-pays, you have this, that, and the third. And somebody on Medicare has a prescription. Now, if they're on Medicare,
that's the thing. I'm not talking about prescriptions. I said hospital visits,
particularly.
Particularly. I didn't say prescriptions. Now, we can talk about prescriptions. Now, the flip, we can actually just bring that up right now. Same situations, they both get out of the hospital before they get their bills. They both have prescriptions. The one with Medicare has to pay more out of pocket than the one that has full coverage to work.
Now, how is that right? Because 9 times out of 10, when you're dealing with somebody on Medicare, they have a fixed income.
Here's what I will always say to this: they should both have the same. If I'm having to pay less for my prescription, you should have to pay the same amount or less.
And then they want to give you these what do they call it? Prescription discount cards.
Was it Good Time RX and stuff like
Good
that?
RX or something like that. But at the same time, it's not really that big of a discount that you're getting.
You ain't lying. Get some prescriptions, you be like, oh, let me go see. And what's funny, I've checked my prescription sometimes. I think I was supposed to get something, and I looked, it was more expensive with Good RX than it was with my prescription. With my insurance.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, well, what the hell is this thing for? A couple times, I think once or twice. Once or twice I've seen it.
Now, what do you mean by if you have Medicare you can't use? I want to put a pin in this because I think I know where she's going with this. There are certain things that you can't use Medicare for. Yeah, okay. And then you have some insurance right there. So it's either you use that discount card or you use your insurance. You can't use both.
Actually, what about that? And this is something I know of because when I had to get my prescription one time, they said you can sign up for one through us. I think it was at Walgreens. You can sign up for one through us, and it may be, or maybe it was Fry's. One of them, either way, one of them said, sign up through us because we have our own. You have a Fry's card or whatever, yeah. Well, sign up through us. We'll see if our discount is bigger than what you can get through that. And that's because I know that a lot of places have done it. Walgreens, Fry's, Safeway, they now have their own where they don't even bother looking at your Medicare, and it doesn't have anything to do with that. They'll sign you up through them to see if they get a better discount.
You know why that is? And the whole thing
because it goes back to what the one comment said. What if you have Medicare and the Arch card discount card can't be used?
And you know why the Arch discount was created? It's not created for the individuals that have insurance. It's created for those that don't have insurance. And they're thinking that they're getting a discount and stuff. Yeah, okay, you might be able to save $180 on a prescription or something like that. But you still, over time, are going to... You're not saving any money. So it's like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Especially with the economy getting so worse now. And then you got to... this is the thing about the whole Obama Medicare thing that I don't like. Everything that was being prophesied in regards to what was going to happen of this blowing up in its face is blowing up in its face. Like if you go onto their website right now, looking at some of the prices on their yearly, not the yearly, just the premiums alone for a family, $465
a month.
A month.
For a family of what?
Four. You could say that's not bad compared to some companies. Like I know my wife, with the company that she works for, it's almost $800 a month.
For a family of four?
For a family of four, yes.
For $800 a month.
But when you look at how much you're making compared to how much they're taking, it's not balancing itself out. If you got somebody think about it, if you got somebody making minimum wage and their monthly insurance premiums is,
which I'm glad you mentioned that. I wanted to talk about that too, but go ahead.
But your monthly insurance premium is $500-600 a month and you're making minimum wage. How are you affording to live and take care of medical at the same time? You see what I'm saying?
Well, that goes to another caveat of Obamacare. Remember, you get penalized. You used to get penalized So Trump said, we're not penalizing people for not having Medicare.
Which was a good thing. That is one of the, and that's what I was getting at of when he did the whole Obamacare thing and making people have that, like that literally scared a lot of people in regards to.
There are people that have never been to the doctor that now have to pay for insurance they'll never use. And then now they're struggling to pay their bills because they had to carry this insurance.
But now that they don't, but now let's not even talk about the individuals, because you have that age group that or that demographic that just won't see a doctor. You have that. Let's put that to the side. Let's talk about the ones that actually need the coverage. You know what I mean? And it's becoming so.
I'm going to say something that is going to piss off a lot of people right now. If you're American, you need medical coverage. If you live in the United States,
you do,
because of all the crap they put in our food. Yep. All the crap they make us sick.
Food, drinks.
They make us sick.
The air.
To need medical coverage.
You know what my doctor told me too, and I'm glad that she said this too, because it made a lot of things make sense. They are not there to cure anything as far as Western medical society. Their job is not to cure, it's to treat. Why? They make their money there.
Listen to the commercials. I don't know how many times I listen to a commercial. They tell you what they're giving you this drug for. And then the symptoms, you're like, wait a minute, I'm taking it for this, but it's going to cause it to be worse. There's a possibility of that. So why the hell would I take that? What else do I need to take?
And then if you have a side effect to a drug, then they give you another drug.
Exactly, that's a side effect. And then it's like you got some people that are taking 30 to 40 different pills and drugs, all because of the first thing.
And then you hear these commercials.
Actually, I want to correct something. This comment right here, go ahead. It's not a business. It's a hustle. It's a pure hustle. Healthcare is not a business. It's a hustle, man. It's all about how can I make you need something that I have? What can I do to make you need this? And then if you go on, and people, what's funny, this is why the government wants to get rid of TikTok and other social media platforms. Because what are they doing? You're getting other countries from around the world giving you the remedies to cure different ailments that you have. I've got so many stomach issues. Well, if you take this, and this, grind it up in your blender, put it together, get this drink, you drink this for 30 days, you're good. No. You go to your doctor, tell them, no. Well, hasn't been scientifically figured out.
You know, really? And you know the crazy part about it, it's funny that you bring this up. And I'm gonna bring my mom up for an example, right? Heart disease runs in our family. So, and heart disease actually runs in a lot of ethnic groups. I'm not gonna say black, but I'm just gonna use.
Well, honestly, most minorities. Well, you know what? Go ahead. I'm gonna say something, but I'll wait.
Yeah. So most ethnic groups go through heart disease. So PSA, those that are 25 and above, please go get your heart checked. You never know what you're dealing with until it's too late. Please do that. That's my PSA. But when it comes down to, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because with my mom, for example, she went through a procedure and then she ended up having to take some medication, right? Now, certain medication gave her certain side effects. Now, to counter the side effects,
they had to give her something else.
They had to give her something else. So before you know it, in her daily regimen, she has multitudes of different medication that she has to take. And it's like, when is enough enough? You know what I mean? Not to mention, doctor's visits to this one that's going to tell you to get off of this drug to take this drug, or get off of this one because you don't need it no more. But then you got your co-pays and everything. Like, it's freaking ridiculous. I'm done. It's just crazy.
So, you know, it's funny you mentioned your mom. So, as we know, well, now most of you know and follow along. So, 3 years ago this week, I was able to see my mom alive.
For those that don't know, that's my mother tuning in right there. And yes, she did fuss every day about it. Every day about it.
So, for 3 years ago, this week was the last time we saw my mother on this side. We spent the whole week with her, laughed, joked, had fun. I knew it was going to be my last time seeing her. I knew it. I told my wife, and she said, "Did you want to stay?" I was like, "No, I don't want to stay any longer because it's going to hurt me being here. I need to go home." And that was the last time we saw her on this side 3 years ago this year. I go back to think about how many pills she took, how many pills my sister took, what they took the pills for. And I would get mad. I would get furious because I look at I always think like if the stuff that is out now had come out just a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Would things have been different? But I don't know. And I think that's why my attitude I've been this year. Like, remember on my checklist, which we didn't talk about in a year's checklist. And I told you, it was like, this year I don't have, I don't have time for people that don't have time for me and my family.
Yo, Belly, what's good? We got to bring you back on the cast, man.
I don't have time for people that don't have time for my family and me. I can't keep holding myself. As they say, I can't keep trying to force someone to do something
that they're not willing to do themselves.
Exactly. And wearing myself out, I'm done, man. I am 45. I'm not getting younger. I'm getting greater. I'm getting older. So I got to get smarter and think smarter. I ain't going to harp on it no more. Anybody that's done me wrong, other than the government, till we figure that out, I'm letting it go. Life is too short. I've seen people that I grew up with. I'm 45, didn't make it to 35, that didn't make it to 25, let alone we got out of high school. I'm in the Marines getting a message that somebody died I went to school with. I don't have time for it, man. If you ain't gonna make time for me and mine, I'm making time for you. It's just the way it is. And what does that mean? I may not see the doctor that much anymore. I may not need half the medications no more because I'm letting that stress go.
Yeah, and going back to what you were talking about earlier with different natural cure remedies and different things of that nature, don't you know that the doctors, there's the study that's out there, not indulging in wine, but having a glass of wine, red wine, can, do well for the heart. Garlic, well for the heart. Different.
Just don't put them together because that ain't going.
Yeah.
No.
No.
But anyway, if you do that together, stay away. You can stay in my
backyard.
Let me finish my
thought.
But you can't come in my house. You can stay in the backyard.
These doctors have the audacity to tell my mama that no, drinking red wine isn't good for the heart, or garlic isn't good for the heart. All the reason why they're giving her these medications that garlic and red wine can actually help.
Well, it's funny. Probably those medications they're giving her, they have some of the.
Nah.
Some of the stuff.
I can't even let you finish that thought because that's. You can't even finish the thought.
But yeah, I can't get it out.
I'm trying. Exactly.
I'm trying.
What? So
I'm going to give you this medicine, but you can't take garlic or red wine. When you go look up the ingredients, guess what?
Garlic.
It's in garlic and it's in red wine. Make it make sense, y'all.
And the thing about it, as long as the big pharma cannot make money off of it, their doctors are not going to endorse it. Prime example. I'll throw this out there. Some of y'all are going to like it. Some of y'all might not. I can care less. Marijuana. There is medicinal purposes for marijuana. It's proven.
Is that why you're wearing a backwoods shirt today?
All day. But it's proven and it's facts. But the doctors will tell you no. We don't want you ingesting it. You can't smoke it. You can't eat it. You can't ingest it. All because we're not making our money. Or a certain medical cure that's been proven, but when you ask for medical professionals, they say no. I'm proving my point exactly.
It's a show that my family and I watch. We love to watch. You probably guys, I know you heard it. Chicago Med.
Yeah.
If you watch,
I watch Chicago PD all day.
So what was funny to me? This one series of episodes which nobody really talked about. They were how this big pharma came into the hospital to promote this medication and this quote unquote cure for things. And they needed the doctor's backing. They said, well, we'll give you a kickback.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
And then you think about it.
Bottom line, they take all natural foods, vegetables, and natural supplements and replace them with their medicine.
Exactly. They pull what's needed out of those fruits.
And they're doing that with our agriculture as we speak. They're implanting in the seeds different they're chemically making up seeds that are going to end up killing off people. It's going to be a genocide over the next 25 to 50 years. There's going to be a genocide. Mark my words. Just watch.
Well,
it's going to be in our food.
Here's the thing. You keep saying going to. People are already doing that themselves. You got people driving cars through
migrants.
You got people just going to malls saying, screw it, I'm just going to shoot up the mall. You got this happening every day. So it's already technically happening. It's a chemical imbalance in the air. I have no doubt in my mind that sometime during COVID, something was done to a lot of food that I don't eat, food that I don't drink. And look at these people. They lost their goddamn mind.
Who doesn't need a good pot of greens or cabbage when your stomach?
Oh.
No, you can't have none. I'm sorry.
Oh.
No.
My stomach.
Nah. See.
Mama Mallory, I need you.
Nah.
I need the greens. I need it. Oh. I think I'm fading, y'all. I'm fading.
To fade that way. And we're back, folks. No, but so we discussed all this in regards to the problems with Western medical coverage. What's the solution? How can we get to the solution? That's the bigger question. How and you know, I asked that because that's dealing with the political climate of what we're dealing with.
You know what needs to happen, and it started with the president nobody liked. We don't need politicians. We need business people. What does that mean? Stop voting for these long-time politicians. Stop voting for these damn politicians, period. Vote for the people with money. Put them in place. They will help us because they know what we're going through. A lot of them are self-made millionaires. They didn't just become millionaires. They weren't born into it. They were self-made. So they know what hard work will get you. That's where it starts. You get the people out there that are getting these kickbacks, because guess what? When they don't need that money. They don't need the money. That's what the problem is. When you have a congressman, longtime congressman, House of Rep, president, anybody in the cabinet, they're getting what's called filibuster, kickbacks, pushing certain agendas. People are talking about why there is no gun reform. Well, first off, here's my problem with that. Stop blaming the weapon. There's a tool behind that weapon. What is that tool? The tool is the person behind that weapon. You need to change that aspect first. Making a new gun control law ain't gonna do shit.
Do you think they need to strengthen the gun laws that they have now by adding mental checks? Because they don't do that now. Do you think they should?
Oh, actually, no, that's where you're wrong. No, you're wrong. You gotta remember, they did put things in places in certain states. Every state adapted it because of what the state got. Like here, went to go buy a new weapon. And we, asked them just for, it's just a handgun. Oh, we don't need anything. Just
give them your ID.
Give your ID.
Out the form. Yeah.
So what's stopping someone from buying a hairline trigger, automatic trigger, separately from buying the gun?
Nothing. Even when let's just say that you are in a state that has the mandatory mental background check.
It's a very simple check. They ask you like 3 or 4 questions, if I remember.
4.
So what the plain and simple. That's actually what I was getting to. Cut the head off the snake. Well, actually, you ain't got to cut it off. He's going to sleep anyway. So just wheel him on out. He'll never know the difference.
But I was going to go in a whole different area. I think we need to adapt more into natural supplements, into natural home remedies. Because think about it. The generation before us lived into their 90s, 80s, 90s. Even the one before them lived into their 100s. Now, I don't know about you.
Glad you mentioned that.
I don't know about you, but a lot of them I know, like my great grandmother, she didn't take an aspirin But if she got sick, she makes some
Tussin.
home
Homemade
remedy
tussin.
or whatever case may be. Like, and here's another thing. People stop eating fast food so damn much. You're killing yourselves. Start cooking more. If you don't know how to cook, everything is on. Well, I don't want to say that. Learn how to cook, please. Don't watch these Facebook tutorials. But learn.
You see me looking at you right now.
Oh man.
I done seen one where they took was it caramel Rice Krispies and
No.
Kool-Aid and some other crap and said, "Oh, this is good." I definitely was a lot.
No, I saw this lady make a pot of greens. She did not cut the greens, did not clean the greens, did not soak the greens, just threw them in a pot and put some damn sugar and butter on it.
And said they were good.
The same lady was making meatloaf and took a whole thing of meat, ground beef, and just dumped it into a pan and put it in the oven. So no, don't cook like that. But seriously though, let's stop eating out as much, because eating out.
She did what?
You heard me. If you don't, go back and watch it because I'm not going to repeat myself. But yeah, stop eating out so much. Start cooking at home. It's a lot more healthy. A lot more healthy.
Well, actually, you know what? I'm so stuck on what she did to these greens. She need to be in jail. She need to go to jail. There's just no, you can't mess up greens. Like, I even forgot where I was going. How you going?
It happens, man.
Bro, yeah. We got a whole generation anyway that can't cook. I'm sorry. This whole generation, like, I'm so glad my daughter takes the initiative of trying to cook. I'm so glad that my son is trying to learn too. I'm so glad of that, because the ones that are getting in charge right now.
Okay, I understand your point, but that's still
actually, you know what? I will say this. I will say, and I agree with you on that, Tiffany. They have things like salad and go. They have other healthy alternative options. So you don't have to necessarily indulge in your McDonald's and Burger King. Like, I know, like, every now and then you're gonna get a taste for a burger.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead, get it.
Don't eat it every day.
There you go. Don't sit there and be like, oh, I forgot, was it the guy that ate McDonald's for a whole month straight? Wasn't it 30 days? Anyway, it was on. I think he's dead now, but he had like McDonald's for 30 days and then wanted to see how his body would react, and he had so many issues. Many issues.
Yeah.
And what it ends up doing, but here's the thing. That's McDonald's here in the United States. Go to McDonald's in Japan, Russia, China. It's a whole different level. It's actually, they have healthy options, way more healthier. The cut of the beef is a lot better. It's Wagyu beef and Kobe beef burgers, and I don't get it. Actually, I do get it.
I get it, because it goes back to what she's saying right here. It all leads back to healthcare and having us. Don't you know that we're in a generation where we've never had so many cases of obesity?
Well, just in the United States.
In the United States, yeah.
Now, here's what I say, just in the United States, but I'm gonna actually caveat that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say that because I'm gonna defend the U.S. They always talk about things that go on here because we can't see what's going on there, because their media is way more regulated than ours. So we really don't know the truth. I'm quite sure I can go to, think about it, Sweden is known for chocolate. You mean tell me ain't no fat people in Sweden? The Germans are known for licorice chocolate too. You mean tell me ain't no fat people in Germany either? Why is it that some countries, they base their lives off of eating potatoes? We get here, they say you shouldn't be eating potatoes because our potatoes are different. Obesity runs all over the world. It's just a matter of we're highlighted because we're known for our portions. Portion control. Have anybody heard that word before? Know what it means? I have a plate in my kitchen that shows the correct portion size for everything in a meal. I looked at that, I'm like, ain't no goddamn way. But I think about it, because of how we've been trained since we were little, you better eat all that food off your plate. You ain't getting nothing else. You ain't leaving the table till you eat all that food. That's some people say it's a form of child abuse. I don't think it's child abuse. I just think it's called I don't want to waste this food.
Right now, especially when these food prices are, shoot, you better not waste no food.
I've told my children more than one occasion, stop filling things up because you don't eat it all.
Yep.
Just go halfway.
Yep.
And see how you feel.
More.
Exactly. If you want more, go back and get more.
I tell my son about that when it comes to mac and cheese. If there's mac and cheese on the stove, half his plate is mac and cheese.
Actually, I skipped that. Diabetes.
The portion control, but also the additives that they put in the food is different from other countries as well.
Well, actually, they don't have the additives we have. I'm glad that's mentioned.
Yeah.
They don't add this. Like a lot of times, it's about the seasoning they add. They don't do the additives like you go to
a lot of countries, especially in the Mediterranean, they use fresh herbs and spices. They don't use the processed stuff. Everything in America right now is processed. A lot of our foods are processed foods.
Actually, you know what's great about what's been happening? This is why I like to talk about TikTok sometimes. They show you how to clean your vegetables and your fruits properly. There was this one I saw that they showed you that using, was it apple cider vinegar and water and putting strawberries and stuff like that. And then you see all the stuff you can't see comes out of the strawberries. Yeah. That's one thing to do. But you know, people say that takes too long. It may take too long doing that, but guess what? That's more time you have on this earth to spend with your loved ones.
Well, on that note, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Yeah, we got into a lot of deep conversations in regards to your healthcare. Check out your healthcare coverages. See what is being neglected from you. Make sure that you get everything that you're entitled to in your healthcare coverage, because that is very, very important. Your healthcare coverage does determine the type of healthcare services and the treatment that you do get.
And also, one thing we didn't touch on, we wanted to get to, but we went totally in a whole different way. Minorities. How do I want to say this?
How do you want to say this?
Minorities. Pay attention to how you're treated. In the doctor's office, in the hospital, urgent care, the clinics. Pay attention to how you're being treated. I say that because more than one occasion, and it's come out many a times, we have to change that narrative that we are, being minorities, mistreated the most. And you can't change that if you don't speak up for your own behalf. Or if you're there with someone and you see how they're being treated, make sure you speak up. Because guess what? That's the normal. It needs to change. I said minorities because it's not just Black people. It's not just Hispanic people. Why do you think the Indian Reds has their own hospitals being treated by their own kind?
And since you brought that up, their prescriptions aren't as high as ours. Their copays, they don't have them.
Mine was back in the day, 10, 15, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we didn't have all that. But now we got copays out of the ass.
Well, folks, on that note, make sure you stay tuned for next week. Why? Because we got some new ish coming to you each and every week. For those that don't know, we got the new scene. Shout out to GLM. We got the new studio. Check out the new commercial before we dip. Salute. Peace out.
Brace yourself, sports and music fans, because every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Arizona time is go time. Introducing one of the hottest, most entertaining, and downright addictive podcasts you'll ever need. PD&J was good today. Hosted by none other than J-Dub the King and Pocket. These two dynamic personalities will keep you on the edge of your seat with their unique blend of humor, storytelling, and knowledge of sports and entertainment. And you know what makes it even better? They're live on YouTube and Facebook, so you can join the conversation and be a part of the action. We're always on the lookout for awesome guests to join us on the show. So if you think you've got what it takes to hang out with J-Dub the King and Pocket, then slide into our inbox at J-Dub the King. That's JDUBBTHAKING. And let's make some magic together. So what are you waiting for? You don't want to miss a single episode. See you on Wednesday.